all that is going on, and then some. After that, we are going to the Bible reading. You know, so somehow no, some of you who all are here. Some of you are coming here for the first time. Yeah, welcome to you in Killer. Those of you who are coming here for the first time, y'all know at this time of the morning, I usually tackle a chapter in the Bible. And when I say tackle a chapter in the Bible, that's what I mean. Tackle a chapter in the Bible. You all know my MO by now, right? When I say tackle a chapter in the Bible, I usually do. I read a chapter in the this. I read a chapter in the Bible, and we usually talk about it because yeah, I usually read a chapter in the Bible and we talk about it because you see, the Bible, you all claim that the Bible plays an integral part in our lives, and whenever I talk about the Bible, I do get a lot of backlash. Ah, Jesus. I watch she say, why am I up so early? I don't have anybody to be up for me, so I'm have to up for myself. Those of who with somebody, no have somebody who get up this time of the morning for something get up for not get up for me this time of the morning, so I get up for myself. What about that? Try to be myself too early. It's too early. But anywho, yeah, that's what I was saying. So let me get back to what I was telling y'all about me and this Bible thing. I usually tackle a chapter of the Bible where we read it and talk about the contents of it. Um, when I read the Bible, as I have as I have been doing for myself, for my own edification, when I read it just to determine whether or not the contents of the Bible are applicable. Yeah, me no one go jump on me and say, "What you mean by if the Bible is applicable?" I said what I said. Um, yeah, when I read it and I talk about what's written on the pages, I get people who say, "Seriously? After me never was that in the Bible?" And then I get people who say, "Well, anything what in the Bible, it me I work with. Anything what in the Bible, it God say, and it me I do." You serious? You serious? You you think the law would permit you to? You think the law would permit you? For just anybody who offend you? You think the law? the last time, the last time we were talking about Exodus. The last time we were talking about Exodus, what was that? 18 and 19 or 19 and 20? One of them. We were talking about, and me still can't get an answer as to why God was on the mountain, why God was on top of Mount Sinai, and you had to warn Moses. Figure warn the people them. So none of them must not try sneak around to find out who is on top of the mountain. In any one of them we see I try peep. I try peep for see because you expect people are going to have concerns. Imagine Moses lead them out of Egypt, he led them into this wilderness, and then he's going up on Mount Sinai, and he's telling the people that there is God. God is up on the mountain. You wouldn't be curious? Me would I be? I know I would be curious. I would want to see God up on that mountain. I would want to see him. But Moses alone went up there. Come back and tell the people them say God is up on top of the mountain, and God said them to sanctify themselves for 3 days. And God say none of them must touch the mountain, neither them nor their animals. So they must keep their animals away from the mountain. And none of them must touch the mountain or go near the mountain, because if they do, they are going to be put to death. And that baffles me. It baffles me because the only solution that I have noticed, the only solution that God has had for these people is death. You notice it? What you saw? SP, what's up? I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Merry Christmas to you, my love. How are you doing? Christmas or happy holidays, whichever one. Yeah, come and just me go with the season. How are you doing? Good to see you are something else. Good to see you, my love. Yes, I'm gonna come back to this now. So have you all ever noticed that the solution for any problems when you are reading the Bible, it's always put them to, and then in the same breath it says, thou shalt not kill. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not here for you all to see anything wrong with it. My platform, me say my piece, and you don't have to agree because I'm not seeking validation. I'm just saying. SP said, let's go into this word. Which word do you want us to go into, my love? Talk to me. Talk to me. Because I was talking about the book of Genesis that I was reading recently. And I was talking in particular about Moses having brought the people out of Egypt and having gone to Mount Sinai, and how when he had gone up on Mount Sinai, he said he went up there to talk to God. But when he came down, he told the people that God told him that they should sanctify themselves for 3 days, and then he's going to come talk to them or something like that. And the charge that he was given to give to the people was that they should not try to sneak around on the mountain to see him, and they should not touch the mountain or even come close to it, neither them nor their animals. And if they did, they were going to be put to death. They were going to be shot through, using the Bible's words. I know what that shot through means, that a bow and arrow, they're going to use that bow and arrow to them. And I say, and my question is, if this was not a cult that Moses was running, I've already established that that was a cult. But if this was not a cult that Moses was running, why was it that fear, this indomitable fear, was instilled in the people? Because you notice every single thing that Moses, every time Moses threatened them, it was with death. And he always punctuates it with, God told him so. God tell him so. And at the same time, he's saying to them, God say, thou shalt not kill. But at the same time, God say, if you even touch the mountain or come near to the mountain, your reward for that is death. Just to go near one mountain, just to touch one mountain, because you are curious, because you want to see whether or not Moses, I tell you the truth, say God up there on the mountain. And I have found that the punishment never fit the crime. It's always so austere. Death seemed like the only answer. And when I say it, and out of my own mouth, it's not like I am conceiving this myself. It is what is in the Bible. And yet you look for me and tell me, say, you have to follow everything in the Bible. If the Bible say it, it will work with. Them are instruction that Moses get. So you tell me, say, God stop come down from mountains. Stop. God stop come down. How comes him not do them something there again? I don't understand. You understand? How comes those things are not being done anymore? Men have become so vile, I'm afraid I don't know. So him only appeared to Moses and give Moses the instructions to rule the rest of the world, even though he had nothing to do with the rest of the people in the world, just the descendants of Jacob. That makes a lot of sense to y'all, don't it? He created the rest of the world, but he had nothing to do with them. The only people he was concerned about was the descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those were the only people he was concerned about. Those were the only souls he cared about. I mean, you're not going to rush me and start telling me about, oh, but in the New Testament, Jesus came and whatever. But listen, hear me out. The concept that has been presented to me of God, meaning he's all knowing, he knows everything that's going to happen even before it happens, right? Therefore, he would have known from the time when he was giving Moses these instructions that these instructions were going to have to be modified. So if God could give Moses some instructions that he knows was going to have to be modified years later, what was the point? Since he's all knowing, why wouldn't he have given Moses the one instruction, one time, an instruction that did not need any modification? Because I say God's words never change. It is his word today, tomorrow, and forever. So somebody is lying then, because the story is not adding up. If I know that it's snowing outside, and I already know that I am going to fall going down the hill because of the snow, I already know that I'm going to fall. Wouldn't I take steps not to fall, to ensure I don't fall, or not to go out there at all? Because I already know I'm going to fall. And I already know that when I fall, I'm going to break a leg. I already know that. So I'm not going out there. This is not the case, though, with the Bible and the way it is presented to us. You see, what I have observed, it's as though the people of the Bible back then, as they were trying to establish Judaism, they were documenting their concept of what they think God is like, what they believe God is like. And they weren't the only people on earth, so they weren't the only people who were concerned about how we got here. Because that seems to be a prevailing question, How did we get here? I don't know if I'm not concerned about how we got here, though. I'm not concerned. That doesn't bother me. I'm not seeking to find out how creation started, how we got here. I'm not seeking to find that out. Because there are some things that you cannot decipher. And it's good to just leave some things alone, because there is absolute no one alive today or was ever alive who is capable of telling us exactly how we got here. So all of it is going to be speculation. And I can speculate my way and you can speculate your way. And scientists can say there was a big bang, and religious people can say, oh, there was an Adam and an Eve and stuff. But everything that is going to be presented is going to have holes, lots of holes. So that's something that I'm not even venturing in. I'm not worried about. Like, how we got here. Oh, somebody made us, God made us. And then you say, okay, then well, God is omnipotent. God is everywhere. God just appear. God, that's not something you question. So you see, you still leave me with questions. So that is why I don't go there. The Adam and Eve story is a story for the ages. That story, that Adam and Eve story, have more holes than any strainer. And if you read the Bible and you read what the Bible says and what it claims to be good as what's up, claim to be true, you realize that in all practicality, it couldn't be true. So then you are left with more questions and no answers. Okay? I ain't going on the Adam and Eve story right now, but I talk about the Adam and Eve story all the time. Is it ain't make no sense whatsoever. And the fact that the Bible claims that Adam and Eve in this garden, and there was this Satan that encouraged them to sin, and then their creator got so angry at them and threw them out of the garden, but he never threw out the serpent that was accused of causing them to sin, but he threw them out and left the serpent. And clearly, this serpent continues to influence them and everybody else, because we still can't get rid of sin, even though there was the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve got thrown out. There was the flood of Noah, where the people were so sinful that God had to destroy the entire earth. He had to drown everybody, drown all the fish, drown all the birds. He had to leave only 8 people. I really believe them something there. But anyway, so he did all of that, but he still never got rid of the devil. He still never got rid of the energy that's influencing his people to sin. And why wouldn't he have power over this devil? Why it seems as though this devil has more influence than him? Why? Could it be that if he really exists, he doesn't care that the devil has all this influence. He doesn't care that all the things that the devil is doing, because he's the one who is pulling the strings and orchestrating what the devil is doing. Is it like a revolving door that he has created somewhat for the devil to continue to influence us, so that we can continue to cry and beg him for mercy, and he's just sitting there having fun with it? All right, I'm gonna send the snake to bite you, because they were always, every time the snake bite you, you have to go come back to me for some medicine. Every time the snake bite you, you have to come back to me for some anti-venom. So me nah go stop let go the snake, make the snake bite you. That's interesting, isn't it? And that would be like, just like when the children of Israel being in Egypt as slaves. And Moses claims, say, God tell him to take the children of Israel out of Egypt. And in the same breath, God says to him, I will harden Pharaoh's heart. But you go on, Pharaoh. You go on him. But I'm going to harden his heart. Like, what the hell is the point then? What is the point? They say, oh, it was to prove that he was God. Like, there wasn't any other way to prove you are God in front of Pharaoh. And look how many plagues had to befall Egypt before Moses was able to leave with the children of Israel. Like, it just don't make sense. Good morning, wherever this is. I'm not seeing a name. I don't see any name, but the person says hello. Hello, my love. Good morning. How you doing? Yeah. So I don't understand why would God be telling Moses and Aaron, go tell Pharaoh to let the people go, but I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart and make sure he don't let them go. And then he does this repeatedly. And Moses and Aaron kept going to Pharaoh, and then, according to the Bible, God kept hardening Pharaoh's heart so he wouldn't let the people go. There are more questions than answers. There are more questions than answers. I mean, no, a lot of them like to say, oh, Trev, don't question the Bible. Oh, aren't you afraid? Afraid of what? Afraid of who? Why should I be afraid? If you give me a book and you tell me I got to follow this book, and whatever this book says I have to do, then I have to read the book to make sure that what I am following is according to the policy in the book, right? So I got to read the book. But if when I read the book, it's not making any sense, who do I consult with? Who do I talk with? Who do I ask these questions? And as I say to y'all before, I said this a million times, that your belief is not a fact. It is a set of ideologies that you have accepted to be true. You have accepted to be true, but it is not verifiable. It is not irrefutable. Whatever it is that has caused you to accept this information as fact is on you. But you cannot hate on people for not accepting what you have accepted. Because look at it. Everybody, all civilizations, all cultures have tried to decipher how we got here, have tried to establish their own gods, their own ways of life. So, who is going to say that the God that was established by the Hebrews is the ultimate God? Who can say that? Nobody can say that, because the ancient Greek and the Egyptians and all those other civilizations were trying to decipher how we got here and came up with their own ideology, is the same way the Hebrews came up with their own ideology as to how they think God came about. So, what makes their idea of God superior to anybody's idea? of God. What makes it so? Nobody's idea of God is superior to anybody else's idea of God, because nobody can prove it. People say, oh yeah, so how you think you are here? How you think you are alive? Really? Really? So because I'm here and because I am alive, I am obligated to accept some false narrative, some false ideology, some ideology that somebody has created, has come up with, somebody's brain has devised something. And because I am alive, because I am here, I am obligated to accept it and not ask any questions, because hey, you better be thankful that you are alive. And that's how this thing work. Yeah, and that's how this thing work. It's like you give me food, and even though I'm allergic to peanuts, me just glad say you give me the food, so me fi just eat it. No. And that's how this thing work. We still have to ask questions. And the questions were here long before you and I were born, and the questions are gonna be here long after. And if you all notice too, that with all the death and destruction that's being idolized in with all the death and destruction that's being idolized in the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, you will notice that in the New Testament they seem to want to water it down some. And you know what I feel like? You see, these people were smart, They were very, very smart. They realized that the things that they were writing down, all these thoughts and ideas that were coming into their minds, they know that in years to come, when the fear, notice they use fear to control the people. Moses used fear to control the people. Every time Moses gave the people an instruction, he followed it up with a punishment, and the punishment was always death. The punishment was all, no matter how simple it is. Something like, if you don't rest on the Sabbath day, you're gonna be put to death. That for something like that, those things are like so correctable. But you see that there was no room for correction in Moses' cult. There was no room for correction. There was no. Everything was punitive. Every time you step out of line, it was punitive. And your punishment was always death. How did they expect to establish a society in which every single offense, the punishment for every single offense, no matter how simple the offense is death, and not be worried about the population? Not be worried about a declining population. Since you have already accepted that the people are not going to be without sin, the people are not going to be able to not commit sins. But every time them sin, we are going to put them to death. Pretty soon you're going to have no society. Everybody was going to die out. Because admittedly, it has been established that sin is a part of the human culture. This, what them call sin. And these laws that Moses were laying down to the people, they can't avoid sinning if that is the case. So pretty soon Moses will not have nobody. Pretty soon he wouldn't have he wouldn't have anybody in his, nobody following him. The people, he would have pew everybody. as them sin. But that was what he told the people. A God tell him so. And that was a way to control them mentally. He had a whole lot of time to indoctrinate these people in that wilderness. Why I say this? Moffat, we had to up so early. We all of them time. I'm on here for up in Moffat. I'm glad to see you can't get up them time of the morning here. Yeah? Keep it up. Keep it up. Yeah, guys. So, what me did they know? Moffat, you always a mess with my meds, you know. Oh, what was I saying again? I forget what I say now. I forget. But anyway, we can still continue talking about Moses. When Moses brought out the children of Israel out of Egypt, Moses could have went simply this land where him say God tell him say he was going to DJ Cole, what's up? This land where him say God tell him say him promise Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob over Canaan. But the funny thing about it is, only remember say hold on there. Something just come to my mind. God promised Moses the land of Canaan. Canaan already had all these people living there. And according to the Bible, God say, Him a go drive out the Jebusites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, and all those people out of Canaan and give it to the children of Israel. Uno remember say, when Abraham was doing his travels, uno remember when Abraham went to King Abimelech? After he had left from Egypt, after him go to Egypt and pimp out Sarah. And remember? After I went to Egypt and him pimp out Sarah, and then he went to King Abimelech. Where he went to King Abimelech, that was Canaan, wasn't it? Because remember the Perizzites, remember he bought that piece of land from them? Well, that's interesting. That is up there in Canaan was the same place where God would have told Moses that he was going to give to the children of Israel. That's interesting. But he was going to have to drive out these people out of this land in order for Moses to have this land. Now, I want to tell me now, wasn't there any more land in the world? When could I send the children of Israel somewhere where it wouldn't have to call for any death and destruction? Somewhere where somewhere where they were going to have to, go set up camp and establish themselves. You not think so? I think so. I think there would have been places which weren't fully inhabited, where he could have established them. If so was the case that this story is ever true. Because this story, let me pull up this. Has more holes than a strainer, has a lot of questions in it. With all the death and the destruction that this God perpetrated in the New Testament, I believe the people who were in the Old Testament, I believe the people who were doing these documentations, they knew that because their stories were not straight and subsequent generations were going to question their stories. That is why I believe that they created the New Testament with a newer version of religion, of God, a newer version of Judaism, because they realized that what was established in the Old Testament is not sustainable. People are always going to sin, what they call sin. People are always going to do wrong. And if these laws by Moses are upheld, that if you're so much as be found to kindle a fire on the Sabbath day, you're gonna get every little thing. You're the only solution for you is they realize that that was not sustainable. But because they want to maintain the narrative that, oh yeah, I know there is a God and God is giving instructions. All right, we're going to give them a version where God changed his mind. So here comes the New Testament now. God, after they had already established to the people, say God's mind never change, is one word, and one thing given word. In word is the gospel, in word is the truth. He never change. Whatever him say, that's what he mean. Now, when they realize that that was not sustainable, them create this New Testament now and say, oh, we sorry, but God changed his mind. But I know him I go just, him send somebody. Him send somebody else. One in the same, but somebody else. To come and die for our sins so that we can be redeemed. Why not take away the ability to sin? So we don't need nobody to redeem. We will do the quote unquote right things. I don't know why I think that there was always a better option. Nobody had to come to die to say to redeem us. And we're still sinning. And we are still threatened with hell. And we still have to go back and we still have to go pray and ask for forgiveness, even though somebody already died for no sins. DJ Amor, what's up? How are you doing, my love? Happy Thursday to you. I ain't seen you in a hot minute. What's going on? How you been? I haven't seen you in a while, but it's always up there. Barnes Warrior, what's up? Good morning. Bless up yourself. Good morning. How you doing? Yeah, Amor, I'm here again doing, me always have to do this deciphering of this whole Bible concept as much as it remains questionable. I'm doing great, Bands Warrior. I am doing great, my love. Every day that I'm vertical is a great day. Everything else is just fluff and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, you're waiting for the night to get over to say goodbye. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Ain't that something? You're burning the midnight oil, huh? Yeah, I'm just here chilling out in the morning, chatting. If someone come too early in the morning with this Bible thing, the people are not ready. They are not ready to hear about hear somebody questioning the contents of the Bible. But they don't have to be ready. Yeah, they don't have to be ready. I am brave enough to speak about what I have read. A lot of people have read it too when they have questions, but them don't want to ask the questions because they're afraid. And that was the first order of control, to make sure that you are afraid. And once you are afraid to ask questions, they know you have you right where they want you, because you will never ask any questions. They can just lead you. They can just lead you wherever, because they know you will never ask questions, you will never seek answers, you will never rebel. That is the thing. They must control you. I'm always trying to keep these streets safe. I understand, and you gotta stay safe, my friend, because them boy out there, I try hard, to keep us unsafe. And people like you, I honor you and I appreciate your service, my friend. You see what I mean, Bands Warrior? Yes. The first order of business with the Bible is control. Once they can control you, once they can instill fear in you, they know that they have you right where they want you. Because Lord, me afraid of dead. Lord, me afraid of go to hell. Lord, me afraid. Me not ask no question. Them say the Bible I do it, so it me a work with. And uno not ask no question. Uno just continue to be led. Oh yes, my love. Oh yes, Amor. We appreciate you, my love. You stay safe out there. Because boy, them out there not have no respect for the law. None at all. Yeah. And talking about this and talking about that. How else do you control a society if you don't have laws? You have to have laws. Now, Moses was establishing a society, so he had to have laws. But remember, at first, Moses wanted to be the only one, the authority. He wanted to be the King Jong-un of the children of Israel. No, he wanted to be the only one for the people to consult whenever they had a problem. Remember, it was it was his father-in-law Jethro who tell him, Moses, this is a foolishness what you are doing. This is a foolishness, because you one can't sit down here so I expect all these thousands of people to come to you from sun up to sundown, come tell you them problem, and you alone can solve their problems. You have to break up the people in a little groups, man, and put the elders over them, and anything that becomes too complex that the elders cannot resolve, then they come to you as the last resort. But you can't sit down there, listen to everybody's problem, no matter how petty it is, no matter how complex it is, from the beginning of the day till the end of the day. You go and burn out. How comes God never tell Moses that? I remember saying, Moses, I got him at work with, I gotta tell him everything what I'm for doing, And God never tell him, say, no, star, you can't do that. You can't sit down on the throne. You can't sit down there in front of the people, them, these thousands of people. And you can't sit down there and make everybody come to you. No. God never tell Moses that. And father-in-law Jethro tell him so. Because I remember saying Moses did run left his wife and him pitney them, You never know that. Eh, eh. Eh, eh. You not tell me so, you never know that. You remember how Moses reached that Midian, right? Moses reached that Midian because he ran away after he had that man. Remember after Moses? You not gonna make me go all the way back yesterday. You don't remember that? And I'm telling you, son, I love talk about Bible and not read the Bible, You not read the Bible. You not read it for yourself. That is why you make people lead you astray. Now remember, say, Remember, say Moses, me I go all the way back and catching up. Remember, Moses was raised in the Pharaoh's house. Remember now, Moses has always been on the run. How comes them to know that? Exactly. 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 Remember, when Moses saw an Egyptian man fighting with a Hebrew man, Moses slay the Egyptian man and bury him in the sand. And Moses thought nobody knew. Next day, Moses see two Hebrew men fighting. Moses said to them, "We're not fight for our brethren. We're not fight." The man them turn to him and say, "Where you come from, I give you orders, I give you instruction. Who make you king or God or whatever? For come and tell we. You think we never did see you yesterday when you kill the Egyptian man and bury him in the sand?" So right then and there, Moses realized that, oh shucks, somebody knows, somebody saw what I did. So Moses realized now the word was out. So when Pharaoh heard that Moses an Egyptian man and bury him in the sand, the Pharaoh was after him. Because remember now, Moses was raised in the Pharaoh's house. After them found me, the Pharaoh's daughter found Moses in the basket. So Moses was exposed to the ideology of the Egyptians, but he also knew that he was a Hebrew. So he had his loyalty to the Hebrews because that's his bloodline. But also he was raised by the Egyptians. So that's when Moses had run away after him realized, say, them find out, say, he had slain the man and the Pharaoh was after him. So I'm run with go a Midian, married to Zipporah, Jethro's daughter, have two pitney them, and then Moses claims, say, him a go back now, go get back, get the children of Israel, and claims that God tell him, fee, go down to Egypt and go petition the Pharaoh to let the children of Israel go. Because God wanted him to lead them out of there because they were in bondage. I think Moses saw himself as this savior, this deliverer. Moses felt out of place over there in Midian. Him no say him couldn't just go back to Egypt so. Because the moment he go back to Egypt, he would have been arrested. He would have been. So Moses say, you know something, me can't go back to Egypt, so. Me can't go back then at peace better than me did go, eh? Yeah? Me have to go back now with an elevated stature. Me go back there now, go gain them respect. Because by this time, the Pharaoh who was there who wanted to slay Moses had died. So now, Moses wanted to go back because he felt out of place. He wanted to be among his people. But he can't just sneak back up in Egypt like that. Remember, he had gotten older. Well, I say, Moses, it's a 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, go. You see what I mean more? Yeah, that may I tell you. I know so the tube no really have no filter. So you know that go. Yeah? When girl good, eh? Anyway, gentle people. I'm more your here for distract me, you know. anyway, so Moses knew that he could not just get up and just go back down at Egypt just so. Him have to go back with this elevated stature. You know, with a sense of importance. Yes, what I mean. So that's why Moses go back and tell the people them, God told him that he was chosen to come deliver them out of the hands of Egypt. And a journey that could take them 2 days. Him say, God say, You know, want them to take that the journey there for they'll take them 2 days to reach into Canaan, because he didn't want the Philistines to see them coming as war, and then to believe that they were coming for a war and then to attack them. He didn't want that. So he made them take one way go round through the sea where Moses have to part sea. And Moses wanted to ensure that when he created this story, love you, Amor. Be safe, my love. All right. And we will talk. All right. Moses wanted to ensure that the people didn't just see him as an ordinary man who had come to deliver them, but a man with extraordinary abilities. You think you can part the sea right now? Me not understand. How comes those things was possible then it not possible now? It not possible. It is impossible. No, Moses is not stretching a rod across the sea and the sea open up and people are walk on dry land, go across sea. And if you even look at the map, if you ever look at the map from Egypt to where Moses carried the people them go, you see nothing go so. And then in cross sea, and then into them in a one wilderness. And then kept them in the wilderness 40 years. Why would he have to keep them in that wilderness for 40 years? Well, here is my analysis of why he had to keep the people in the wilderness for 40 years. Have you ever noticed the cult leaders that we have seen in modern days? Have you all noticed that they all seek to have a geographical area established for their people? Remember Jim Jones? California couldn't hold him. So him carry all these people in the wilderness and the jungles of Guyana. Waco. You remember? They had to have their own community because they had to control the people. There are several others. They had to control the people. They have to control your movements. So they have to keep you in this one geographical area so that they not only control your body, they control your mind, they control your movement, they control you financially, they control you spiritually, they control you. There's no outside influence. They take away your phone, them turn off your, you have no access to the outside world. Moses tell the people them, they were not allowed to interact with anybody else. They're not allowed to marry anybody else. They are not allowed. And if you leave the camp and you go be with somebody else, you're going to stay out there. You cannot come back. Because if you come back, them are going to you. You cannot come back. That's what cults are made of. And Moses was no different. So Moses kept those people in the wilderness for 40 years. The older people who had other ideologies, because they were in Egypt, they had been exposed to different ideologies. They may have a propensity to stray away from what Moses was teaching. Those people would have died out in those 40 years. Either them dead or them too old to rebel. The younger people, though, who were born in wilderness, would now be in their 20s and 30s. They are young people. They are strong. They know nothing else. They have not been influenced by any other ideology but the ideology of Moses, because that's all they know. They have not been allowed to interact with anybody else. So everything they know is what they were taught in the wilderness. So their minds, Moses has their minds under control. Just like when we have Kazan under control. Just like just like just like just like when we have Kazan under control. Kazan, what's may have your week. Oh my gosh. Don't worry yourself, man. Don't worry yourself, man. Like Viagra will do. You'll be alright. Like Trev yourself. Oh boy. Anyway, as I was telling you all, the truth is Moses had to ensure that he had full control, because Moses can't afford for the people to be antagonizing his ideologies with other ideologies. You don't want the people coming to him to come say, this had happened, that had happened. Oh, but so and so exists. But when I was over in Egypt, they taught us about this, that, the other. Moses couldn't be bothered with that. Moses don't want any outside ideologies to interfere with the ideologies that he was establishing here with those people. So that's why he kept them in that wilderness for 40 years. And furthermore, while they were in the wilderness, he was growing an army. The people in there were just having children, because Moses were going to need these people to fight the war that he was preparing for. Because remember, the Jebusites and Hittites and Perizzites and Canaanites and all those people, they were not going to just hand over their land to Moses because Moses come and said his God said this land is mine. But Moses told the people that God told him that he will destroy these people so that Moses can get their land. So Moses was preparing his army. He was growing his army in the wilderness so that once they exited the wilderness, they would have enough young, strong men ready and willing to fight. Because now they're going to fight to defend what Moses has indoctrinated in them, because they do not know anything else. They don't know nothing else. This is now their life. This is all they know. And that's what Moses wants, because then he has less antagonism. He has less, there's less risk of people going up against him. Less risk of a coup. And we saw this also in slavery, where they separated family members because family bonds are strong, and if you and I are families and we can put a plot together, we will be loyal to each other. We are not going to, nobody is going to know about it until we execute it. In slavery, they had to have control of you. You're not allowed to move without their permission. You're not allowed to do. And it was the same thing with Moses. And then when the people started rebelling, of course, yes, people started acting like normal humans would. They started to ask questions. Moses said, them rebellious. Him said, them is a stiff-necked people. They hard ears. Why am I tell them no want to listen? Because the people started to see the holes in Moses' story. Them started to hold them in a Moses story, so they started asking questions. So the people them is a stiff-necked people. The people them not here. Moses was afraid the people were going to rebel. And they did. They were pointing the people did have rebellion, but he quickly quelled those rebellions because he had to control them, to remind them that this is what God says and this is what God said. And he used this God thing to control the people the whole way. And it's the same way it's being used to control the people even until today. Yeah, because a lot of people, let me tell you something. If there wasn't a threat of hell, may I throw out a question here? If there was not a threat of hell, would you claim to be a Christian? Hell, because them tell us say you're going to burn up in this hell. It your claim say you're afraid, I know. But look at it. Look at it. They even tell you that to avoid this hell, you must be holy. You must be saved. You must be forgiven of all your transgressions. But not the same breath, them say, as a man, you cannot be sinless. And you're born in a sin and you're shaped in an iniquity. So at what point am I going to be holy enough to avoid this hell? That's my question. At what point are you going to be holy enough? Because even if you say, okay, then I am saved, I'm a Christian, I am saved. All I need to do, I know I sin every day, but all I need to do is ask for forgiveness. Suppose you're dead before you ask for that forgiveness. So for example, all right, I'm gonna say you mustn't fornicate. All right. You just done fornicate. You don't reach a church yet, Saturday or Sunday, to ask for forgiveness yet. You don't reach a church yet. But then you die. And you ain't ask for forgiveness yet. So that means say you're gonna end up at hell. You don't know. Miss Kids. Miss Kids. These people got me thinking, man. They got me thinking. OMG. What's up with you? Good morning. You're up early, man. At almost 5 o'clock. Think of me one up them time of day here. Yeah. So as with anything else, you know, there are lots of other sins apart from fornication that you could have committed. And my question is, what's going to happen to you if you don't get the forgiveness early enough? You're gonna end up at hell just like the other person who don't believe in asking for this forgiveness, and the other person who is not saved. Another question I'm always ask: the other people who were in the world, the other people who were in the world before Moses established this religion, the other people who were in the world, them not count for nothing. Them not count for nothing. Like, they already had their societies. They had their questions of, where we came from, came up with their own answers. But I don't understand why we have been given the Hebrew writings, and it has been claimed to be superior to the religion of the other people who were on earth even when the writings that are in this Bible were established. We never find that concerning. Why God would have just pick one set of people. And the funny thing about it, these people that he picked were not even, you couldn't even say that these people were even righteous or even close to it. Abraham, Abraham wasn't a righteous man, if in my understanding of righteousness. Abraham pimp out Sarah. Yeah. When Abraham go down to Egypt, Abraham tell people them say Sarah was his sister. Even though she was. In real life, she was his sister. But they were still wife and husband. They were sister and brother, but they were still wife and husband. And he told the Egyptians that she was his sister. So he used that the part of the truth to trick the Egyptians. And when them take Sarah, wife, because you see the Egyptians loved the Hebrew women and claimed that the Hebrew women were the most beautiful. Them loved the Hebrew women, they were beautiful. So Abraham pimp out Sarah, tell them to Sarah and sister, them take Sarah, give him a bunch of dowry, well, if an animal and servants and whatever, and them keep Sarah and do whatever them do, the Pharaoh keep Sarah as in wife, whatever. That was a holy thing to do. And he come back again. And when him go up Horeb with King Abimelech, him try sell Sarah again. Him trick them again and say Sarah and sister. Even though technically he didn't lie, but he used that information as a way to deceive them. I remember they gave him a whole lot of dowry again. What was so all about that? All about that? Nothing. Move again and come down to Isaac. Look at Isaac. Wanna see how Jacob tricking brother Esau and take away Esau birthright and everything. Isaac never did give, when he gave Esau blessing to Jacob and turn around when Esau beg him, give Esau one little wishy-washy blessing and something. You don't think him could do better? Him could have went do better. Him could have went do better. He make him wife Rebecca control him. Because remember the Bible saying Rebecca did love Jacob. Rebecca did love Jacob. Or Rebecca helped Jacob for rob Esau. Come back again with the Jacob. Look how much of a devil Jacob was. I mean, a lot of life is about Trev. God can use even the worst of us. Even where we shouldn't have to be the worst for him to use us. Because he has the ability to make us not the worst. Okay? Look at Jacob. Look at Jacob's life. Why was Jacob considered to be a man holy and righteous? Yes, trust no one. Jacob was Rebecca's favorite. She loved Jacob. That's why she make Jacob put on the goat hair and stuff. Figure trick Isaac and give him the soup so that him could get Esau's blessings. I mean, I think that would be something that would be highlighted or something that would be praised. But Jacob ended up getting all of the blessing. And then the two of them agree to send Jacob go to Laban so that he can escape the wrath of Esau. So that Esau not him. And then him run got to Laban. Runner got to Laban, and look what I do it. Look what I do over Laban. You remember when him left over Laban? Him worked 7 years to get Rachel, And Laban tell him, you can't get Rachel, yeah, because Rachel cannot marry before Leah, but Leah them was, you know. So him give him, the amazing Emanji, what's up, sis? How you doing? Good to see you. Happy Thursday. So so he gave him Leah. He had to marry Leah before Rachel. And then he had to work another 7 years for him to get Rachel. That tell us, all right, just no one say, that tell us that what God meant for us, no one can take it. In terms of what now? Jacob, Esau, what do you mean? That Jacob got tricked twice by Laban? I not trick Laban, trick him. Laban just tell him, say, per the law, him can't marry to Rachel before Leah. They got to be married first. The oldest daughter got to be married first. So he married to Leah, and then he had to work another 7 years to get Rachel. And him worked the 7 years and him get Rachel. But look, when he wanted to leave, Laban to go back to where he came from. Honestly, what I'm doing with Laban animal them? Okay, so she says, Jacob got tricked. Who you say got tricked? From his mom and Leah's father. Esau was tricked out of his blessing by his mom and Jacob. Jacob, Leah's father, was Laban. That was Rebecca's brother. Oh, look like we are break up. She said it a break up. I don't know what to do with it, to be honest with you. I have done everything that I possibly can with this thing, and it keep on a break up all the time. I don't know what to say about it again. I don't know what to do it. Me restart the device, me do everything. And it's still. M&G, is it breaking up over there on the tube? Because me don't know, them say it a break up over here, so me don't know. Yeah, so back to what I was saying now. So Cashapp, what's up? So Jacob, look at what Jacob did to Laban's animals. When Jacob was leaving from his uncle Laban, Jacob do some kind of trick him with the animal them. With and him put the weaker ones to mate with the weaker ones, some foolishness of the sort. But eventually the result of it was that he created he did some kind of trickery with husbandry and stuff like that. And the result of it, it's a breakup over there to me, I don't know if it's about it. The result of that was that the weaker animals, he ended up creating a whole generation of weak animals. Those he ended up leaving for his uncle Laban. And then this strong one, the strong animals, he took for himself. So Jacob's been a trickster too. Jacob no holy. He wasn't. But he was, according to the Bible, he was chosen. He was chosen by God according to the Bible. And all the people in the world, God chose one tribe, one man and his descendants that he says he's going to bless. He go and bless who bless them, and him go and curse whoever curse them. Ain't that something? Something that I find to be rather interesting. But anyway, as we are talking about it, before the day is over, I'm going to take a read here. Let me see which chapter I'm supposed to read this morning. Because as much as me there and keep on talking, we gotta read something. He was treated unfairly, so he said no more and took action. So I won't say he was a trickster. Yeah, man, me say he was a trickster. Him say him did want Rachel. His uncle made it clear and trick him and give him Leah. But member say I just unfair games play twice. Because Jacob tricked Esau out of Esau birthright and out of Esau blessing. And now him come and his uncle trick him. But if you notice, say trickery seems to have been a vital part of their survival back then. Have you noticed that? Trickery seems to be a vital part of their survival. Abraham tricked the Egyptians. Abraham tricked the Egyptians and told them Sarah was his sister. She was his sister for real, but they were still wife and husband. Yes, I remember that it was Rachel he wanted, and Laban tricked him and gave him Leah. But him is not the person to complain about being tricked, because look what he did to his brother Esau. So that's why I said unfair games play twice. He tricked his brother Esau out of his blessing, deceived the father. So now when he's at Laban, and Laban trick him and give him Leah, he might be the last person to complain. But he did. Because you see, he feel how it felt, what he did to his brother. And Laban said, well, you have to work some more. You have to work another 7 years to get Rachel. He worked the 7 years and him get Rachel. But then when he decided that he was going to leave, you saw what he did with the animals, because he was the one who was taking care of the animals. And him say 20 years him spend a Laban, and him say him deserve him wages. In deserving wages, Laban must give him pitney them, him wife them, and him pitney them. Me don't know what happened to it just now, and I don't know what to do with it again. You know. I don't know how to do with it again, because I try connecting it to the other internet, and it's, yeah. But me don't know. Me sorry say it a break up. And them say it a break up this up on the tube too. So me don't know the powers that be must don't want me for. Noel, you are the first, the second, or the third, Noel. Swimming upstream. Good morning, how you doing? Bless up yourself. Yeah, so as I was saying, oh shit, my phone I lose charge. Gotcha. Charge it. Andy. As long as I chat, I know see my phone I lose charge. Alright, can go on Yes, people. So as I was saying, that Jacob felt what it felt like to be deceitful, because just nasty. Up on vacation and lost me my tripod. But anyway, yeah. So Jacob felt what it feels like to be deceitful, because the same way he cheated his brother Esau is the same way Uncle Laban tricked him, and him never like it. Him never like it, and him turn around and out of revenge, in claim say Laban animal them. Laban didn't have as many animals before he came, and him claims that the animals were not as strong, and Laban was not as wealthy before Jacob came. So he wanted his wage. In telling uncle, pay me wage, I'm making go on about him business. No, hold on there. I have to get this fixed somewhere somehow. And remember, on his journey back to his land, he was and I remember when he was really a trickster, yes. And when he was going back, when they were leaving, Rachel was the one who stole our father God. Our father did have one in little statue, in God that he worshipped. And Rachel thief it. And on their back, when Laban's sons told him Jacob had gone with everything, he sent them to go catch back Jacob, to go catch him back and get back in things, wine thief from him. When they catch up with Jacob I gotta tell them, say, anything we wanna see, anybody wanna find with the little God, wanna fake them. Yeah. And them search and them upstore everything. And Rachel sit down upon the little God. You remember the story? Andrea, good morning, lovely. Jacob, Rachel sit down upon the little God. And when the man them a search for the little God and can't find it, them tell Rachel to get up. Make them search the padding on the where she sit down, and she say she can't get up because she has her period. That time she sit down upon the God for to make them find it. And they didn't find it. So Laban asked Jacob pardon. Asked him pardon and went back. And Jacob continued. Jacob been a trickster in whole life. Him been a trickster. Yeah. But even with all that, Andrea, he was the chosen one. He's the one who was chosen, that his tribe and everybody descendant of his going to be are of God. Them are gonna be blessed. Look at this. Let me show another example of why I got issues with this thing. I don't know. All right, let me just hold this up. Let me show you again why I may have issue with this. You remember when Dinah was violated? Who remember that part of the story? Now, Dinah was Jacob's only daughter, according to the story. Now, remember when Dinah was violated? What's the man's name again? Was it Shechem? Was that the man's name? I think it was. Remember? Jacob's sons who were responsible. Jacob was quite angry with them. Oh, me never hear for them punishment. What? How I come? I didn't hear. What was their punishment? Y'all remember when they told the men in the city, Jacob, when Jacob wanted to get what the people had, Jacob tell the people them say, and we give them their daughters to marry their sons, and he will take their sons and their daughters. So it's almost like we can come together. There's no issue. There's no problem. My daughters can marry your sons and vice versa. That's what Jacob tell the people them. And then he turn around and tell the people them. But for this to happen, you have to get circumcised like how we are circumcised. You know, say a lie, him did I tell, right? That was a big, bold-faced lie. Because at that time, the descendants of Jacob, it was not mandatory for them to be circumcised. It wasn't mandatory at that time. But that's what he used to trick the people. And he told them that for them to have this agreement and be able to commingle their societies, they had to be circumcised, just like how they were circumcised. And they weren't circumcised. So Jacob and Leah had a long time. And so the king, having really wanted Dinah to be his daughter-in-law because he know his son has already slept with Dinah, and his son was so in love with Dinah, he said, okay, he agreed. And he made this whole ordinance and told everybody in his town that, listen, this is going to be the new law. All the men must get circumcised. And I mean, the king say it, the ruler say it, the people them run and them do it. Nobody not objecting. So all the men went and got themselves circumcised. And Jacob's sons plotted and said, when the man them circumcised, they are going to be sore. They are going to be laid up in bed nursing that circumcision wound. That is the perfect time to strike. And that's what they did. That's when they struck. And they were able to be successful and destroyed the entire city. Burn it down. All because Shechem had slept with Dinah. He never did marry to her. Them same take advantage of her. And he loved her. And that was something that Jacob endorsed. He afterwards he claimed that was it Simeon? I think it was Simeon and was it Simeon and Levi that he said were evil for having destroyed the city, for having done that. But Jacob knew about it. He knew. So I don't know how it comes afterwards he was trying to be innocent by saying that like Simeon and Levi are evil. They are devils. But he knew. Because he told the people talking about they were circumcised. They should circumcise like them. And he knew that they were not circumcised. It wasn't mandatory for them to be circumcised. It was after Moses. It was Moses who started talking about this circumcision, this mandatory circumcision. Circumcision wasn't a thing prior to, because remember, Abraham, we never did hear about circumcision until Abraham claims him circumcised and married 100-year-old. Some kind of covenant. You don't know, these people thought up just about anything weird. anything weird, because even today I ask, oh, this circumcision thing, nature had it figured out perfectly. Nature knows that when a man is erect, he's going to need room for that extension. So nature give him excess skin fold for to accommodate that extension. And when you cut it off, people say, oh, it keeps you cleaner. Cleaner than what? Cleaner than soap and water for wash yourself? Like, seriously? So now, when you take off that foreskin that nature has given you, for the purposes it has given you don't have no extension. You cannot extend them have one little body still down so. What I fight with nature for? You understand? And it wasn't until Moses that made that thing mandatory. It wasn't mandatory. So even though people talking about, oh, the Bible says if it's circumcised. The Bible says if it's circumcised. Like, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Oh, wait a second. But that's the truth. I'm not bad. That's true. That's true. They don't have any room. They don't have any room to accommodate an extension without that foreskin. That foreskin was put there by nature for a reason, to accommodate your extension. If you not turn over your penis and wash it properly, that is on you. But the same way how the fold under your breast and the folds in your back and the folds everywhere deserve to be washed, the same way the folds just need to be washed too. So nobody not come tell me foolishness and me ears come talk about, Bible say if you take it off. Bible also say if you write an offense, you cut it off. You cut off your hand? You cut off your hand? And what if I want to brain or offend you, not take it out? Not take off. They gonna take off them head. Yeah, like, come on now. Come on now. But let me get back to the meat of the matter. That is, right, Andrea? Let me get back to the meat of the matter. You know, so when me finish here, so I'm gonna get up. Into my Jonathan, what's up? I have 4 cake figure bake when I get up. Me say, Jonathan, me can't sleep. Water in my bed. Water in my bed, Jonathan. Me can't sleep. Where sleep I go? Me can't sleep, my friend. There is water in my bed. You know, so me an early riser. And this morning me get up from 1 o'clock. Because last night I was so tired. I collapse and go sleep like 8:30. Yeah. So I woke up, it was like 1 o'clock. I'm not sleeping more than maybe 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. Yeah, so I've been up ever since. Yeah, get a couple of things done. I'm just decided to alright then. Let me just come on the live. Let me just open up a live and make we go and run the live. And go and chat a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Alright. So let me forward up over here so now. Let me see it. Hold on. See if this can. Hold on, let me see if this work. Oh my goodness. Okay, not too bad. All right, me get a little spot. What? Jonathan, Jonathan, you have to come down, You have to come down. Jonathan say, which over man me no pay, me can't stay in my bed. Me not in my bed, me not my couch. But me no owe nothing. I don't owe a thing. Goodness, you're crazy. But anyway, beautiful people. Make we roll on right back. The back. I have to use the light here because I need to see what me I read say. I have to use the light. Make we see. I was going back to Exodus chapter. The light they kind of getting out of the way, but it is what it is. How would I get back to Exodus chapter? I'll go back to 21. Chef Blacks, what's up? Because we did read 18 and 19. Alright, so we're going forward into 20. We're going forward into Chef Blacks, what's up, my love? How are you doing? We're going forward into Exodus chapter 20. All right. In Exodus chapter 20, let me read it for you now. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. One of the things that God would tell people them, so don't make no image. Don't make no image. I don't want to see above. So you look up above and you see star, you see sun, you see sky. Envision angels. You see, you're looking at the water, you see this fish, that fish, the other fish. You see bird, you see dog, you see cow. Do not make any image. Don't recreate any image of any of those things. What was the importance of that? The people are going to end up bow down and worship it, or it's a way of exerting dominance to say, listen, it is, listen, I me make this. I me make this. Me no want nobody for recreate it. You understand? Me copyright this. Me no want nobody. Me no want nobody for recreate it. Like, and if they recreated what? Me no know. I don't know what the significance of it was, except a way to assert dominance. But let us continue. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them. Okay, just like I said. Okay, so it was, you don't want them to be no gods, to make them to celebrate them. Thou shalt not bow down to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy God. I am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, upon the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. You see the control again? Fear. So if me not say me love the Lord, destruction I go take me. If me not say me love God, destruction I go take me. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, neither you nor your son nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor the stranger that is in your house. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and the earth, the sea, and all that is therein, and rested on the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God has given thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. The people them catch them afraid. The people them catch them afraid. Because God up on the mountain, and there is this smoke and fire up on the mountain, and him tell Moses to warn them and tell them, don't come sneaking around trying to see what's going on up here, or else you shall be neither you nor your animals. And then now, here is this fire up on the mountain, the people them have to dress back. Them afraid. They say, do Moses, you tell you whatever the man on the mountain tell you if you tell we. But we don't want the man on the mountain to come tell we himself because we're afraid. Is it supposed to be fair that drives us to be kind to each other? Is it supposed to be out of fear? I can't function out of fear. Anytime fear not the equation, I can't function. So me know me would be one of them people that wants, what the hell are going up on a mountain here? Let me go see God face to face, make him tell me this. Because Moses, what you tell me, so that make no sense. Make me come up on the mountain, but I wouldn't get far because the moment I touch the mountain, I would have to be put to. Let us continue. Oh Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, He have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. He shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall he make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice on it thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep, thy oxen, in all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. That means say it should be stone that you have to cut to make the altar. Same way you pick up the stone, as same way say you're supposed to use this. You're not supposed to chisel it out, or that's what he mean. He said, if you make me an altar of stone, make sure it's not hewn stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto my altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. So, all of them orders and instructions, I mean, not necessarily they were, but for Moses, don't go up on the altar, no build no step. What part of Moses' nakedness would be exposed though? Mama ask you know. What part of Moses' nakedness would be exposed if he had to go up a step to go up to the altar? What kind of dress do you think Moses was wearing for him to get those instructions? What kind of step? What kind of clothes he was wearing? Because God said no want, according to the Bible, say no want Moses' nakedness to be exposed on the altar, so there should be no steps. That's interesting. Now don't ask me what it means, because I don't know. I really don't know. Because me that thing say Moses was wearing maybe the long traditional garb, the long something what go down to them foot. That Moses would be wearing. Me not see how going up a step would cause his nakedness to be exposed. Unless there was a different, it was a different form of dress. Me no know. Me no know. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. But according to the Bible, it say enough you build the altar with any steps to go up to it, because you don't want his nakedness to be exposed. Fair enough. Let us continue. We are going to read 21 as well. But before me do that, on the ear how quickly Moses get instructions that thou shalt not kill. And that's right after in claims that God tell him if the people them just as much as touch the mountain, he must them. And then he get instructions that thou shalt not kill. Just saying. 21. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. The what? The judgments. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th year you shall set him free for nothing. So remember saying no. Remember they were buying servants, because the rich people would have a lot of land, and they would have a lot of animals. So they needed people to work those animals, work those lands, take care of the animal, them take care of the garden, take care of the field, and all these things. So they had to, if people weren't giving themselves to these masters, then they would have to purchase them. And they would purchase people from anywhere. They would purchase people, because why I know this from having read the Bible, that they had servants who were not Hebrew, is because remember with Abraham, when Abraham pimped out Sarah to the Egyptians, in exchange for Sarah, they gave Abraham several servants, manservants and maidservants, along with um, horses and asses and oxes and sheep and goat. They gave Abraham a whole lot of dowry, to include manservant and maidservants. So we know that the Hebrew people were also intermingling with those who were not Hebrew on that level. Because don't forget that Hagar, Abraham's maid, was Egyptian, but she was working for Abraham, but she was an Egyptian. Okay, let us continue. She was Ishmael's mother. Don't forget it. Okay, let us continue. Let us continue. We are reading verse 21. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. That are the servant, if you have one servant, if you buy, if you buy, he said if you buy a Hebrew servant, not just any servant, If you buy this one now is a Hebrew servant, buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years you must have the Hebrew servant serve you. And in the seventh year, you must let him go. He not owe you nothing. You must just let him go. If he came by himself, then you let him go by himself. If he was married, then you let him go with his wife. If his master had given him a wife and she had borne him children, the wife and her children shall be the master's, and he shall go by himself. You get that? Y'all got it? So, if you buy a Hebrew man to serve you, and he came to you by himself, he was a single man, and you buy him, he came to you, him serve you for 6 years, in the 7th year, you got to let him go. That's the law. If when you were buying this Hebrew man, he was married, when you buy him, you're getting wife along with him. They come as a package. Then on the 7th year, you got to let him go with his wife. But if you bought him a single man and you gave him a wife out of all these women that's working for you that you own, you gave him this wife, and this wife has children for him while he is working for you, then the wife and the pitney them belongs to you. So you can just lego the man and keep the wife and the pitney them because they are yours. So don't treat people like a cattle. Treat the people like cattle. But then say, so then God say. So not never did wrong with it. So you see why we was in slavery for so long? You see why I was in slavery for so long? Because when people read them something in the Bible, them say, well, nothing wrong with it. Because in the Bible say it. So we're supposed to. Let's continue. Let us continue. Now it says, if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Okay? Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. So, here, if the man, after having served you, if the Hebrew man, after having served you for 6 years, per the law, you have to let him go the 7th year. But if he have wife and children with you, and he says, listen, me love my wife and my pitney them, and I don't want to leave my wife and my pitney them, you have to take him to court. He says you got to take him to the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ears through with an anvil, and he shall serve him forever. You hear that? So let me break it down. When people tell me, say, them I follow everything in the Bible, me have to just laugh. Because I say, oh God, poor thing, then I read the Bible. And I read one of the Bible and then say that. So let's get straight. Name see Noel? Noel, let's get this straight. So if a man, if you buy a Hebrew man, all right, me are the master. Me are the master now. This are the law me I get from God. If me buy one Hebrew man as my servant, the Hebrew man must serve me for 6 years. On the 7th year, I am supposed to set him free. Him not owe me nothing. Me not owe him nothing. Me have to set him free on the 7th year. Now to the conditions. If this man came to me with a wife, my have to set him free with his wife. They are a package. My have to set them free together. On the other hand, if when this man came to me, when I bought him, he was single, but while he was with me, I gave him a wife, and him and this wife has had children, him not belong to me, but the wife when me give to him and the pitney them what the wife have are all mine. So the man got to leave and leave those children and that wife with me. That's my property. If the man said, listen, man, this is my wife and my children, I'm not leaving them anywhere I go, they go with me, then me have to take him to court. Me have to take him to court. And the court is going to rule that if the man wants his wife and his children, he has to agree to be my servant for the rest of his life. And to identify him as such, them have to bore his ears and put one something in it, so that he is easily identifiable on my plantation. So when you bore your ears, when them bore your ears and put the something in it, then anybody who see you with that something in your ears, know say you are a forever servant. Know that you are going nowhere. You will be there forever. And I mean say so. At the Bible. Make we continue. Interesting, ain't it? Then it says here in verse, excuse me, in verse 7, and if a man sells his daughter to be a maid servant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. So male and female have the same privileges. If you sell your daughter as a maid servant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. Let's see how she must go out. If she please not her master, who has betrothed her to himself. All right. So him take her for himself. So you sell your daughter to him to be a maid servant, and take her to himself and a wife her. If she please not her master, who has betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. So if it's a woman in buy, so if the master buys a woman for his servant, and the woman please him, like, no sir, me did think me did like her, but me not like her no more, yeah man, or she not good in her bed, or she not ready, or or she not ring my bell, or something like that. Him a go sell her to one strange nation. Him a go sell her to one strange nation. So if him buy her over here, son, with the Assyria, him a go sell her over this over Egypt. Let me read that again. If she does not please her master, who has betrothed her to himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of his daughter. So if him give her to, if him take her for himself, he shall have no he shall not let her be redeemed. Him have to go sell her to one strange nation. But if him give her to one of his sons, then him have to treat her like he would treat one of his own daughters. If he take him another wife, his food, his raiment, and his duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Him still are the same obligations, even if him take unto himself another wife. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. He that smiteth a man, so that he die, shall be surely put to death. All right. She say, "Oh no, God, not joke. He that smiteth a man to death shall be put to death." Me agree with that part there. If you take somebody else's life, you have forfeited yours. That are just my belief. And I think say if them bring back swift, swift and permanent punishment, people will think twice before them take a people's life. Because people I think to them can take other people's life and just get a good lawyer, pay a good lawyer, and them only get community service, and them only get a year or 2 years. Let's continue. He that smiteth a man, and so that he dies, shall be surely put to death. And if a man lie not in wait, but God deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee. So if God deliver the man in your hand, so if the man do you something, and God deliver this man in your hand, you never sit down and lay wait him. You never sit down and lay wait him. It just happen. I don't know if it can just happen. But it happens like that without you having plotted for the person or sit down and lay away the person. He says, I will appoint thee a place where ye shall flee. So God will find somewhere for you if you run, go hide after you don't slay somebody. All right. But if a man come presumptuously, if a man come presumptuously unto his neighbor to slay him with guile, thou shalt take him from mine altar that he may die. So if you come unalive your neighbor deliberately for whatever reason, then you supposed to. Okay? And he that smites his father or his mother shall be put to death. All right? Smite your mother or your father, you shall be put to death. And he that steals a man and sells him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Because you know, say, people used to thief people. People used to thief people and go sell them, because them know so the masters would pay a pretty penny for them. The people with these huge plantations, they needed workers, they needed servants. And since they weren't just rounding up people to come serve them, they relied on others to come sell them people. So if you just go capture one man now and I carry him to go sell to one of these plantations, and them catch you with the money in your hand, you shall be put to death. Because people were supposed to be allowed to go freely, to surrender themselves to the masters, to be servants, but not for somebody else to, excuse me, but not for somebody else to steal them and drag them kicking and screaming onto the master's plantation. He says, if you do that, you shall be put to death. And he that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone or with his fist, and he die not, but keeps his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. All right, you know understand what that say? If you want a man to fight and you lick him not dead, but you you injure him badly, and him have to stay in a bed. And then when him get better, him have to walk with a cane, or him have some kind of infirmity that resulted from you having hit him. Then you responsible for him. You're responsible for his doctor bill. You're responsible for everything until he can come back good. You will be responsible for him. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. But you know, say what the punishment won't be, you know. He say him shall, hey. Because if you have servants, you're not pian pian. If you have servants, you rich, you're among the elite. So him say you shall surely be punished. So poor people are put to death, but rich people are only punished. He says he shall surely be punished, notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Hold on, let me read that funeral again. Let me read that funeral again. Listen, don't mess with the rich people their money, not even in the Bible. Let me read that again. If a man smites his servant or his maid with a rod, and he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. But if he continue a day or two, if he can continue to beat you for a day or two and not do you, then hold up there. Hold up there. Hold on, let me read this again. If a man strike his servants or his maid with a rod and he dies under his hands, he shall be punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. So if him continue a day or two, you're not going to punish him because the servant is already his money. Yeah. The servant is already, so what's the point? What's the point of punishing him for the servant if that's a loss to him already? Him lose the servant mean him lose hands. He has lost hands, working hands on his plantation. So that for him is a loss. So that is the punishment. That's the punishment. That he has lost a working hand on the plantation. If he was a poor man, he would be put to death. But let's continue. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit departs from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. You know, hear that? So if a man a fight with a woman and lick her so hard that she lose her child, with a pregnant woman, and lick her so hard that she lose her child, then our husband shall determine what his punishment shall be, and then the judges will determine whether or not they agree with it. And if any strife and if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life. So all right. So if it cannot be resolved, and say if the pregnant woman end up dying, not just the child inside of her, but if she ends up dying as well, then, what's up, sis? If she ends up dying as well, then them have to treat it with a life. So in that case, that man has forfeited his life. Them have to take film life because them just take the woman life and not only that but the baby as well. Let us continue. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for a hand, and foot for a foot. Burning for burning, wound for wound, and stripe for stripe. We don't need no explanation in this song. And if a man smite the eye of his servant or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. Can you hear that? So if you as the slave master hit your slave in an eye, but why you beat your slave them for them animal? Yeah. But if you strike your slave and you lick out his eye, then you have to set him free. No compensation. You have to just set him free with the one eye. But anyway, Lord Jesus, Moses try cover all bases. If we're not busy, let me put this there so that you can see me properly. Just like that. Yeah. But let us continue. Let us continue. And if he smite out his manservant's tooth. So if he lick you, what am I lick people for? If he lick you and he lick out your teeth, he shall let you go free for your tooth's sake. So if your master beat you, so that means, you see, when me tell you say, all them things that were happening in slavery out of the Bible, them get it from, Yeah? And the Bible, them get them foolishness there from. So, if you are beat your servant, where you beat your servant for? But if you are beat your servant, it not say nothing about, you must beat your servant and you are then something The Bible not say that nothing about that. So, the Bible endorse the slave masters beating the people and beating the servant them. So, because it say, if you beat your servant and you lick out in eye, you must set him free with the one eye. If you beat your servant and you lick out in tooth, you must set him free for the sake of the tooth. Make us continue. If an ox gore a man or a woman and they die, then the ox shall be stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit. All right. So if one cow buck you, yeah, if one cow buck you and you're dead, then fi stone the cow. That's just normal animal behavior. Why them fi stone the cow? But God say so. Them say God say so. So if you stone buck you, if you stone buck you and you're dead, brother, then fi stone the cow. Me say stone, if you stone buck you. If the cow buck you, if the cow buck you, yeah, and you die, then the cow must be stoned to death. And when the cow is stoned to death, one mustn't eat the meat. I guess they must have some kind of demon must cow make him a buck people. But make us continue. Boy, this book is interesting, Noel. I wish my minute there would make me all forget what me did I read. Over here, so we did there. And if I'm read this about the tooth already. If an ox gores a man or a woman that he die, then the ox shall be stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit. But if the ox But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past, and it had been testified to his owner, and he hath not kept him in, but that he hath killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. So now hear that. Let me break it down for you now. So according to the Bible, God say, if you have, according to the Bible, God say, if you have one ox, you know the ox like one buffalo? Yeah. We call everything cow. We call everybody cow. Yeah. But according to the Bible, God say, if you have one of those cows, buffalo, whatever them is, with the horn, and he gores a person and the person dies, then you must stone the animal and his meat must not be eaten. Yeah? The owner must take charge of it. If this animal has been known to charge at people, has been known to misbehave, and the owner has been aware that this animal has this nature, and the owner did not secure this animal to ensure that this animal does not injure anybody, then the owner is held culpable of the animal's behavior. So the animal must be stoned to death along with the owner. And when the love and the forgiveness, the brother, we not just read in a 20 said thou shalt not kill. We not just see Moses get one tablet, come down off of the mountain, said thou shalt not kill. And in the same breath, here so, these are ordinances that he's still getting, that Moses is still getting, as to how to rule the children of Israel, how to control them, the different laws that he's supposed to implement. Make us continue. Make us continue. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him. Wanna hear that? So if this rich man, the man who owned the ox, if he can pay not to be killed, then he won't be stoned to death. But why if him cannot pay? If he cannot be stoned to death, why death seems like the only answer the Bible has for anybody who goes against the grain of society? Why death is the only answer, and at the same time the Bible is saying thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill. You don't see the hypocrisy? You don't see it? Because all I am reading here in Genesis, it kept saying thou shalt not kill. But at the same time, every single issue that arises amongst the characters here, the solution for them is put them to death. Ain't that interesting, Shala? Shala, what's up? Shala, what's up? Ain't that interesting? You just not tell me, say, thou shalt not kill. But these are the circumstances may I give you when killing is permitted. Let me continue. But if the man can pay the money, the man not gonna be put to death. Whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to this judgment shall it be done unto him. If the ox shall push a man's servant or a maid servant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver. What are they? If the ox shall push a man's servant or a maid servant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. If the ox shall push a man's servant or a maid servant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. So, who forgive who the 36 shekels of silver? The servant, they must pay Okay, Shala, what's up? You said that your internet bad. Then if your internet bad and my internet bad, no bad combination that, my friend. Oh my goodness. I hope you have a great day, my love. They say, if the ox push the mad servant or the main servant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver. Who shall give unto their master the 30 shekels of silver? The ox? What? Right, this sound like sound no sound straight. If the ox shall push a man servant or a maid servant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. The servants must give the master 30 shekels of silver. Me no know. Me no know. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit, and not cover it, and an ox or an ass should fall in, the owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. Okay, so if you open up one pit, if you dig one hole and you leave the hole uncovered, and somebody's cow come and drop in at the hole, then you have to pay the person for their cow and you keep the dead cow. The owner of the pit shall make it good and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. And if one man's ox hurt another's that he die, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money. You hear that? So my cow, if my ox and your ox fighting, and my ox gore your ox until it die, then I have to sell my living ox and me and you share the money. Fair enough. Next one says, and the dead ox also they shall divide. All right, so we are cut up the dead ox. You get half of him and me get half of him. Or if it be known that the ox hath used to push in time past, and his owner did not keep him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own. All right, you hear that? So if the ox, if you have one animal, come like, all right, if you have one dog, because I think it can go for any animal. If you have one dog and your dog fight my dog and your dog my dog, then you have to sell that the dog and may you share the money. If your dog though has been known to be a violent dog and it's been caught many times trying to bite people or try to put you in a trouble, then you need to get rid of the dog and may you share the money. The Bible is very interesting. These laws here in the Bible are very interesting. You ever wonder why people can't keep up? Can't keep up. Would you be able to keep up with them liar? You imagine you're not slavery, your master beat you. If your master lick out your eye, if your master lick out one of your eye when he might beat you, he might feel let you go. You have to leave, but you leave with one eye. You leave with one eye. You got to go, but you're going with one eye. Okay. If your master beat you and lick out your tooth, he might send you away with the one missing tooth. And the funny thing about it, all these men who were considered to be men of God, they were also involved in the beating of their slaves and their servants. So, as long as God did agree with it and say, you can beat people them, you willingly beat the people them in the name of religion. people, people, I can't stay here and tire with you not for too long. You understand? I'm gonna have to come back. We're gonna come back again to tomorrow for sure. We're gonna come back and talk a little bit more about what is going on in the Bible because it's interesting. We are here in the book of Exodus where where Moses is getting numerous laws and statutes from God, statutes and laws that is going to implement among the children of Israel. So when we come, watch ya. So when we come back tomorrow, we will continue with this. We will continue with the reading. But in the meantime, if you all want to, in the meantime, if you all are interested in hearing the narration of the Bible, you are welcome to go over to my YouTube channel. For the last few weeks, I haven't posted anything but the Bible readings over there. So you are welcome to go over there. Just turn it on, sit down and listen. While you're listening to it, you can be washing the dishes, baking your black cake, doing whatever it is that you got to do. By the way, if there's anybody here who still want a black cake, could let me know. Inbox me. Yeah. So you can be doing what you are doing and still be listening to what the Bible has to say. All right? But that's where we're going to end for this morning. That's where it's going to end this morning. I want to say thanks to everybody who came in. Thanks to those of you with the like button, those of you who tap the screen. That's something, yeah, give me a headache. Thanks to everybody who came in here. I sincerely appreciate you all. All right? That's going to be it from me for right now, my friends. Until next time, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great day, everybody, and I will see you all again later. See you later, Drea.